All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Kansas. Michael Whiting and Vic Brown will have the front row. Richie Joplin, Stephen Linder on the second row. Mark D'Antuma, Paulo Renacito have the third row. Gil Guak, Jess Chambers on the fourth row. Tim St. Jean and Kevin Bruner rounding out the top 10. Ryan Warp starting in 11th next to Robert Eggert in 12th. Derek Schilling in 13th, Gerald Thanos Poole in 14th, Warren Moore in 15th, Noel Parker in 16th, John Shermotts in 17th, Mark Parker starting in 18th, Craig Jennings in 19th, Chuck Sweeting in 20th. Kevin Hayes in 21st, points leader Jeff Oakes starting in 22nd. He's got a lot of work to do tonight. Pete Norquay in 23rd. Darrell Klotz 24th. Mike Burgess 25th. And Jack Wilson rounds out the 26th car field here at Kansas. Hey, good evening, Sketch. Good evening, Mark. And good luck, Mark. Drivers getting stacked up on the backstretch. All right, here they come through 3 and 4. The pace car dives to pit road, and here they come. And the green flag flies. They are down and away at Kansas. Michael Whiting immediately jumps out to the lead. Remember, cold tires here and a hot track. Things could get a little slippery in the early laps. And Michael Whiting will lead the first lap. Richie Joplin now up into second. Vic Brown into third. The guy we're keeping an eye on tonight, Jeff Oakes. There in the 30 car. He is the points leader coming into tonight, but only had a 10-point lead coming in. He has got to make up a lot of ground here tonight. Jess Chambers now in 7th, Tim St. Jean in 8th, Ryan Warp up 2 spots in the 9th, Gerald Poole up 2 spots into 12th. A man on the move, though, is Pete Norquay. Pete up 7 spots into 16th. And now Mike Burgess up 7 spots into 18th. Looks like everybody's got a fair amount of grip here. Now that they've got some heat in the tires, it may come down to who saves the most, as it looked like a few of them got a little squirrely out of turn 4. Sketch, that is dedication, buddy. Richie Joplin has claimed the lead up front. Vic in second. Michael Whiting slips back into third. Michael blinking a little bit. Michael Whiting may have lost connection. That is a heartbreak for Michael Whiting. After qualifying on the pole, it does appear he has been disconnected. Tim St. Jean now up into 5th, up 4 spots. Ryan Warp on the attack as well in the 23 car. Ryan up 4 spots into 7th. Clearly, the first couple laps did not see a lot of movement, but once we hit about lap 4 and everybody had tires up the tip, man, a lot of guys on the move. Gerald Poole now 4 spots into 10th. Warren Moore into 11th. Pete Norquay now up 12 spots into 12th. Norquay is on a mission tonight. That did look good, Skip. Now Richie Joplin came into tonight's second in points. Just 10 points behind Jeff Oakes. A win tonight could start to close that gap. Especially if Jeff does not make up a lot of ground. Right now he's up 5 spots into 17th though. As we have seen week in and week out with Jeff, he can get to the front easily. Vic Brown still right on Richie Joplin's bumper. Dan Tuma down to 3rd. Stephen Linder in 4th. Tim St. Jean in 5th as it looks like Pete Norquay and Gil Guac have had a problem behind. No caution. Let's see what happened. On the ball, holy cow, he comes up, gets into Gill, both of them end up going through the grass, through the turn 1 and 2 infield. He recovers quickly. Gil Braun had a little bit rougher ending to this one. Gil goes around. Gets stomped down in the grass, but he does get rolling again. Fortunately, both drivers stayed out of the wall and probably minimal damage. Pete Norquay was just outside the top 10. He has slipped back to 21st. Gil Guac slips back to 17th after starting in 7th. Man, what a setback. Meanwhile, Vic Brown has gone to the lead. Vic Brown takes the lead for the first time here tonight. Richie is fading. Whoa, he was loose out of 4. Mark Dantuma trying to take second. And he'll take it. Richie slips back into 3rd. Did he use it up too early? Stephen Linder now in 4th. Tim St. Jean in 5th. And right now, Tim is closing on the cars ahead. He's just over a second behind Lindner and gaining ground rapidly. Ryan Warp, we saw him marching earlier, now 5 spots into 6th. Paulo Anacito in 7th, Jess Chambers in 8th. Gerald Poole 5 spots into 9th, and Derek Schilling 3 spots into 10th. Chuck Sweeting in 11th, and would you look at this? Jeff Oates now up to 12th, up 10 spots so far. Well, it looks like it doesn't matter if Holy cow, Schilling is loose at a 2. Manages to hold on to it, doesn't lose any ground. But it does look like the cars started, the tires are starting to go away a little bit. They do drive heavy on the right rear here at Kansas. Jess Chambers, Ryan Ward battling for 7th and 8th. Meanwhile, Vic Brown out front is starting to pull away just a little bit. Starting to come to pit road. They are right within the fuel window. Tim St. Jean, Gerald Poole, Gil Glock, Mark Parker all in. Richie Joplin in 3rd is in. Stephen Lindner is in. Ryan Ward, Paul Anacito are in. Warren Moore, Kevin Hayes, Noel Parker, Pete Norquay, Mike Burgess, Craig Jennings, and Daryl Klotz also in. And the leader is coming in. Vic Brown, Mark Dantuma are in. Chuck Swole, Derek Schilling really sent it onto pit road. And Derek Schilling now on pit road. Everybody else is in. And man, some wild pit road entries. Let's back this up a hair more. All right, here comes Derek Schilling onto pit road. And, yep, he's in a drift coming in. Manages to gather it up. That was a great save and a great way to make up some ground. Vic Brown will come off pit road with the lead. Richie Joplin back in second. Tim St. Jean in third. Mark Dantuma in fourth. Chuck Sweeting now up into fifth. Chuck definitely played some different strategy on pit road. I believe he took right sides only. That has got him up 15 spots into fifth. At the moment, Stephen Lindner in sixth. Paulo Anacito in seventh. Gerald Poole up to eighth. Brian Warp in ninth. And points leader Jeff Oakes in 10th. Doug Sweeting is starting to lose some ground after that two-tire stop. He's now back into eighth. Brian Warp in ninth, closing in. Jeff Oakes in 10th. Last time by, Jeff was the fastest car on track. Brian Warp on the move, looks underneath Chuck. Mark Dantuma slipping back to fourth after his pit stop, but Tim St. Jean now up into 30, is closing in on the top two. It has been a while since Tim has been to victory lane. He's been moving forward all night. Could tonight be the night? Jeff Oakes, points leader, just moved into ninth place. Northway, after that incident with Gil Blanc, back on the attack. Pete is up to 15th. Gil Blanc also trying to recover, up to 19th. Mark Dantuma starting to get on the bumper. Tim St. Jean as they come out of turn 4. Dantuma looking to retake third. Jeff Oakes has gotten past Ryan Warp, is now up to 8th, and sets his sights in 7th place, Gerald Poole. Folks, don't forget, right after the race, you can tune in to see the Unicorn go trucking. She'll be leading the convoy here tonight. Pete Norquay has just made his way to 13th. Kevin Hayes up 7 spots into 14th. John Shermott's now up a couple of spots into 15th. Mike Burgess also making up some road. Mike a little loose through 1 and 2. Mike is up 9 spots into 16th. Just shy of halfway, no cautions yet. Remember, Home Motorsports is known as the cleanest league on iRacing. We have countless races where the caution did not fly. As Vic Brown pulls away with the lead, he definitely wants it to stay green. Jeff Oakes continues his charge, now looks under Gerald Thanos' pool. Jeff now up 15 spots into 7th. What a charge! You oftentimes have to wonder, does Jeff just do it from the back to make it look harder? Gerald Poole still up 6 spots into 8 in the Navy Joe Coffee card. A huge shout out to Frank at Navy Joe Coffee. Hope you get to feeling better, buddy. Navy Joe coming on board to sponsor the second half of the home motorsports season. Don't forget to check them out at NavyJoe.coffee. The best coffee you can find is Navy Joe. Mark Dantuma has moved back up into 2nd. Richie back to 3rd. Stephen Lindner in 4th, closing in. He's got Paulo Inesito with him. And Jeff Oakes now in 6th is closing in on the top 5. Vic Brown's lead now 1.7 seconds over Dantuma. Robert Eggert has now moved up into 11th. Kevin Hayes up 9 spots into 12th. John Shermont's now up into 13th. Pete Norquay up to 14th. And Mike Burgess up 10 spots into 15th. Mike Burgess does tend to be one of the drivers that's extremely fast as they go along the fuel run. Speaking of, Ryan Warp is in. About to start our second round of green flag pit stops. Drivers were looking at 19 to 21 laps on fuel here tonight. Vic Brown stays out. Mike Burgess, Gil Guanc, Mike Parker, and Gerald Poole have all come in. Stephen Lindner is in now. Some of these guys stretching that extra lap or two. It'll make a big difference now, but it'll make a bigger difference on that third and final stop. They will have the freshest tires for the longest period of time on that final run. Whoa! Richie Joplin has a problem coming in. Richie has had no luck with pit road entry here lately, just overshoots it. Paulo Anacito has to lock him up to avoid him, but wow. And the leader is in, bringing Dan Tuma with him. Jeff Oaks now called. Jeff's a little squirrely. And Derek Schilling will be scored with leading a lap. As the first lap led, but Derek picks up the bonus points. Derek comes in tonight 5th in points, not far behind Vic Brown. Derek's bringing it in now, as is Warren Moore. Vic Brown on his way back out with Dan Tuma right behind him. Tim St. Jean, who pitted a little bit earlier, he will come by and lead a lap this time as well, picking up bonus points. But look at this, Vic Brown, Chuck Sweeting, Mark Dan Tuma, all right there together. Tim St. Jean's older tires, he won't be able to maintain the lead, but he might make up a little bit of ground overall. Jack Wilson has just ducked in for his pit stop. Chuck Sweeting now back in 4th. He did take 4 tires on that stop. Looks like in the long run that 2-tire stop paid off. Chuck now up 16 spots into 4th. 25 laps and 1 more pit stop to go here in Kansas. Vic Brown still holds the lead by half a second over Dan Tuma. Tim St. Jean in 3rd. Paulo Anacito in 4th. Chuck Sweeting is fading. Looks like Chuck took his second stop off sequence. He pitted on lap 30, took his fresh tires, so he'll be able to go another 3 to 5 laps before coming in again. And he may have just outsmarted everybody. Time will tell, but it does appear Chuck has something figured out with the strategy here tonight. Paulo Anacito to 4, Stephen Lindner infield. Wow, Chuck right on the wall. Stephen Lindner now to 5th, Chuck in 6th. Gerald Poole up to 7th. Jess Chambers in 8th, Derek Schilling in 9th, and Pete Nordway in 10th. He has passed more cars tonight than anybody else. He started in 23rd, made his way to the top 10, got involved in that incident with Gil Walk. Dropped back to about 18th, drove back to 13th, made his pit stop, and is now driven back up to the top 10. Chuck Sweeting is in for his final stop. And Jeff Oakes had a problem on his last stop. It appears he got a penalty. He is now back in 18th, a lap down. But right in front of him is Richie Joplin in 17th. Also received a penalty. So the top two in the points are now trapped a lap down. And I can hear you asking, who is third in points coming into tonight's race? It's the 57 of Mark D'Antuna, who is going for the lead right now. Tonight could be a huge night for Mark. He is the defending champ as Tim St. Jean and Derek Schilling are in for their final stops. Angie Louise cheering on Derek Schilling. Derek has slipped back to 17th, trying to find his way back toward the front. Jeff Oakes has gotten back past Richie Joplin, Pete Norquay, and Mike Burgess are on pit road. Mark D'Antuna, meanwhile, has the lead and is pulling away with second place Vic Brown. Paulo Anacito currently running in third. Stephen Linder in fourth. Gerald Poole now up into fifth. Jeff Oakes, Richie Joplin, they are crossing their fingers, hoping for a caution. Right now, Kevin Bruner in ninth place is the first car, one lap down. "13 laps to go here at Kansas. Still several drivers need to come in for their final stop. Vic Brown still staying within striking distance. Paul Anacito in third. Almost 6 seconds back, the leaders are in. Mark Dantuma's in. Vic Brown is in. Kevin Bruner is in. Gerald Poole has just come in. Paulo Anacino leads for the first time tonight. Stephen Linder in second, Kevin Hayes in third, John Shermott's in fourth. The caution were to come out now. No Paulo's coming in. Stephen Linder is on his way in. Oh! Linder had a little problem coming in. He gets it gathered up. Jeff Oakes, the points leader, is in. Kevin Hayes will now take the lead. And Stephen Linder got a penalty on the way in. Kevin Hayes sends it to pit road. John Shermott's the only driver left to come in. Mark Dantuma currently sits in third, Vic in fourth. Wow, Vic is Chuck Sweeting there. Tim St. Jean not far behind. And it looks like John Shermott's will come in. Mark Dantuma has a 1.8 second lead over Vic Brown. Chuck Sweeting still has third, but Tim St. Jean is 2.25 seconds back and closing in. Paulo Anacino 2.5 seconds back for Tim, and he is hauling the mail. Vic Brown just set his fastest lap of the night. He is really trying to reel Dantuma in. Vic Brown came into the night fourth in points. Is yet to pull off a win this season though. And man, our two top points drivers, Jeff Oakes back in 16th, Richie Joplin in 17th. Going into the second half of this season, man, the points are going to be tight. Can Mark Dantuma go 2 seasons in a row? Noel Parker just went to pit road. Craig Jennings has also just come in. They were trying to stretch it. Three laps to go for Mark Dantuma. He's a 1.5 second lead. Vic Brown trying to get there. Chuck Sweeting in third as Paulo Inesito is taking fourth. And Paulo is closing in 1.5 seconds back. Man, Chuck Sweeting played some beautiful strategy here tonight, but he needed just a little bit fresher tires. I don't know if he can hold Paulo up for 2 more laps. Paulo now less than 0.7 of a second back. Meanwhile, through 3 and 4, here comes Mark Dantuma. And here we go down the front stretch. The white flag flies one more time around for Mark the Man Dantuma. He sends it off through 1 and 2, has a 1.5 second lead over Vic Brown. And man, what a race for both of these drivers. And out of turn 4, Mark Dantuma gets his second win of the season tonight at Kansas. Vic Brown comes home in second. Paulo Inesito brings it home in third, and once again, Home Motorsports goes green to checkers. No cautions tonight. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Paulo. Paulo, what did you put on those tires on that final stop? Because it just looked like you were gripping and ripping all the way around the track.
Oh, man, I was pushing. I was trying to get there, but not enough time.
Man, that was a heck of a run from after that final stop. I mean, it was obvious you had speed tonight, but, man, after that last stop, I don't know if you timed it right or what the deal was, but you just started marching past people.
Yeah, it was fun. Just, yeah, it was a good race. Good race.
Well, man, a great job and another podium. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Paulo Inesito comes home in third. Vic Brown finishes second. Vic, so close yet again.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt for a little while. I was clicking through, checking my fuel, and I overdrove whichever one or 3, and I feel like I had to give Mark that room then because he already had the run. So once he got in front of me, he did nothing but gain all night on pit road, and I was not good on pit road. So great job to him.
Well, man, you still put on one heck of a run and one heck of a race. I think when it's all said and done, you led the most laps tonight, and definitely had a ton of speed, man. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Great points night, and thanks for this league, Home Motorsports, for having me. Really enjoy these guys. Such clean racing, and I mean, just go green to checkered. That's awesome.
It definitely was, man. Great job, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
And finally, our winner, Mark Dantuma. Mark, back in victory lane, your second win of the season. More importantly, man, that was a huge points night.
Yeah, we were hauling anchor with this Navy Joe Coffee Company Camaro. It was pretty bad fast, even on the long runs, which kind of shocked me because I normally burn them up pretty good.
Well, you definitely didn't burn them up tonight, man. Once you got to the lead, you checked out. It didn't matter if you were in clean air, dirty air. You were just gone.
Yeah, something about this setup and this car. It's just kind of amazing. You can drive it on that right rear, and it just moves for you.
Well, it definitely worked perfectly for you. In fact, you were one of the few guys I saw didn't have a problem coming out of turn 2 or turn 4 getting loose.
Yeah, I changed my steering ratio during the practice. I actually went to 10-1, and it seemed like I had a little more control of the car. I was able to keep the back end behind me a little better.
Well, it definitely worked out. Not only do you get to victory lane tonight, but man, you're headed toward your second championship.
Oh, now you've jinxed me, but that is kind of the hope. So yeah, it felt good for last season. Now I want to repeat even that much more.
Well, man, you're right on track. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug. And everybody visit NavyJoe.coffee and pick up your HTSAI blend because, yes, Doug has his own coffee, so go get it.
Ain't that scary? Good job tonight.
All right, thanks.
Kevin, another green to checkered race, despite it being extraordinarily eventful.
Yeah, we put on quite a show here, Doug. A lot of good drivers. The new guys fit in nicely. Can't ask for anything more than that.
And it looks like, did you get a penalty on your final stop?
On my final stop, no, I just took I took fuel only. On my first stop, I forgot to turn my tires on and then panicked and said change all 4 tires, so they fueled me, then changed tires.
Oh no. Well, man, I noticed the time difference on that, but man, you definitely had a good run going early on, but you did lose some time mid-race. Still a great finish.
Yeah, I think, mid-pack, that's, it's if with this group, that's nothing to sneeze at. It's a good night if you can finish halfway up.
Well, a great job tonight. Congratulations, and congratulations on putting on one heck of a show tonight.
Thanks, Doug, and I just want to thank Navy Joe for coming on board and picking us up for the end of the season, till the end of the season.
Well, it is awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Doug. Have a great night.
Our fearless leader, Kevin Bruner. Folks, don't forget, if you come back here in 5 minutes or so, the unicorn will be trunking. Come back and say hi. Join in on the fun and laughter, because there's going to be a lot of that. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. We'll see you on the road here in just a few. Have a great night, y'all.